like to cook? Anybody? Okay, a couple people. Well, a lot of people don't like to cook because it's too complicated, or it takes too much time, or it's too messy. And a lot of those things are true. But today I'm going to be teaching you how to make some great classic vanilla cupcakes that, with the right tools and ingredients, can be very simple and easy. So we're going to be taking a look at the tools you'll need, the ingredients, and of course the best part is the outcome. So first we're going to be going over the tools that you'll need. So we're going to start out with 2 medium-sized mixing bowls, a mixer, a cupcake baking pan, and whatever you want to use to spread the icing with. And I'm going to tell you a little bit later a really easy tip to spread icing and decorate cupcakes without having to have all of the fancy baking equipment and cupcake decorating tools. Next we're going to look over the ingredients, and this is kind of a long list to have to remember, so if you want you can just follow along on the handout that I gave you. You're going to need a half a cup of softened butter, a cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1½ cup of flour, 1/2 a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, and 2/3 a cup of milk. So now that we have all the tools and all the right ingredients, we can get started mixing together everything and start the baking process. So the first step in baking is always to preheat the oven, and in this case we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees so that by the time we're done mixing all the ingredients together, the oven will be preheated completely. And the first step in the mixing process is to cream together the butter and sugar, so you're just going to put those in a bowl and cream them together with the mixture until they're mixed together completely. And then you're going to add the eggs one at a time, and you're going to mix the mixture together between each addition of the eggs, and then after the eggs have been added, you're going to stir in the vanilla extract. And then after you've added the eggs and the vanilla, you're going to set this bowl aside, and you're going to get out the second bowl that you've gotten out for this, and you're going to add all of the dry ingredients to this bowl, and that's going to be your flour, your baking soda, and your salt, and you're going to mix this together in your second bowl. And you're going to make sure this is mixed together really well, and after you've done that, you're going to add it to the butter mixture. And you're going to mix these 2 mixtures together really well. And that brings us to the last step in the mixing process, and that's to add the milk to this final mixture. And by the time you've done this, you should have your cupcake batter. And this should not be doughy, it should be very light to where you can just pour it into the cupcake pan. So you're going to pour your batter into the cupcake pan evenly, and you're going to bake it in the preheated oven for 18 to 24 minutes. And it usually takes me on the lesser amount of the time, but everyone's ovens seem to be different, so you just have to watch it. I would suggest starting with a lesser amount of time, about 18 minutes, maybe a little more than that, and just watching it after that to see when they're done before taking them out of the oven. So after that, you're going to take them out of the oven and let them cool. You want to let them cool completely before you add the icing, or else the icing will start to melt when you're adding the icing on. And that really easy tip that I was telling you about before about adding icing is what you can do if you don't have a lot of fancy baking equipment and things, which most people don't. You can take a plastic, just a simple plastic Ziploc bag, and fill it with icing. And you can cut one of the little tips, the corners off, and you can use that like a icing decorator. And that's just a really simple way to add icing if you don't have a lot of fancy baking equipment. So we've added the icing after we've mixed all the ingredients together and baked our cupcakes for 18 to 24 minutes, and now we have our delicious vanilla cupcakes.
Any questions for Julie?
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
I got all my questions out of the way.